And after this enticing lecture of fuck all information, we can now go onwards. Oh. If only she had brought her high heels.
Yes.
Now, to be fair, she, like, considering it's a stone key and they most of the times they press it with two hands, it'd probably be way too heavy to actually press it with, like, your finger.
Right.
So yes, this isn't quite so far-fetched as, oh, I would need to, like, step on my toes to be able to reach this.
Yeah.
I grabbed it from the wrong side. But here you can see that because there is no ridge on the thing, you can actually push it further than the ice field. But it's important to know that you can actually, you know, pull it right where it needs to be.
Good to see this ice hasn't melted despite everything going to hell.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it has melted and I had to bring it back to life with my ice magic.
Shh. It's okay.
See, they do actually have to put some force into pushing that thing.
Yeah.
I like all of those particles in the air. Some of them seem to be, well, most of them at this point actually seem to be just, you know, whatchamacallem, sparks. No, can't do it.
What a shame.
But I really want to. Would you look at this?
Look at
Okay,
that.
Here's where I got a little bit, and she just sneezed from getting thrown into hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, you needed like one more thing of that.
Carrying
We're just
around
gonna
like, oh, lizards.
we're just gonna stand in the middle of them. And now they do actually get a move on from there. You can't actually drop from too high of a distance. At least
Oh,
not
wrong
with
side,
these
of course.
characters. But yeah, there is actually no use fighting them unless you disable their spawning points. And I don't think they're vulnerable until you freeze them either. I think
Probably
they can
not.
also. I think they can also actually reactivate their spawning points. At least that is how it is with similar enemy in the fourth game.
Sorry.
The timing on that was perfect.
Yeah.
Defeated the last wizard. The lizard got hit by Ron. Sorry.
You're a lizard, Harry.
I'm a what?
A lizard.
Oh, that's disappointing. Maybe candles. No.
So is Hermione the only one who can use Glacius, or can everybody use it now?
Only Hermione. That's actually one of the main mechanics. Not everybody gets the same spells.
What the fuck? What am I looking at?
This is what I meant with that cutscene. Now, I do not remember how to actually do this boss fight when I was playing this, because all I remembered was that it was a clusterfuck. What you're supposed to do actually is keep out of the way, actually, just like Ron said, and wait until he throws a thing at you. Or try to do this. That doesn't actually do any damage, but what's important is this. This will never actually hurt you, or I never been hurt by this. But you have to freeze it and then bombard it with spells.
Is this Kingdom Hearts?
It looks like an enemy from Kingdom Hearts.
Right.
And to be fair, this game came out years afterwards, so who knows?
Could have been some inspiration, maybe.
But yeah, this is basically the boss fight. Wait until he starts doing the stupid thing. Or just until Ron says freeze it, Hermione. If you stand right underneath him, he can't do shit. Yep, his aim sucks.
Yeah.
And now he does little force waves whenever he stomps, but really it's just more of the same.
Yeah.
He can't hit you when you're underneath him. Or rather, he just has a very, very hard time doing so.
Oh, you're doing both feet. I was hoping you would just throw one of his shoes at you, then he'd just be hopping around with one leg.
That would be kind of interesting.
Ron is always almost dying in this game.
I know, what a cop-out.
It's because he hasn't gone to bed yet, you see. He's not in top form.
But yeah, when you freeze someone, they just turn blue slightly.
Ah.
I think it's a little bit more noticeable when you're not in hell.
Only slightly.
But yeah, now we just come in the way we come out the way we came in.
We just come in the way we came in, you know?
Well done. Harry, Ron, Hermione. An excellent performance. 50 house points for Gryffindor. That is all for today. Class dismissed. Harry?
Can you show me how you made the Dementor back off?
I don't pretend to be an expert at fighting Dementors, Harry, but I'll try and help. But not right now. I have a lot to do, and I chose a very inconvenient time to fall ill. I will get a message to you when I'm feeling better.
Come on, Harry. It's potions next.
How many plot points can we put into one cutscene?
I know, right?
Is appropriate.
Also, how so he can
Yeah.
when he gets sick? That's pretty convenient.
Well, I mean, he is a wizard.
Also, is this like the Harry Potter RPG where every class equals like a month?
Yes.
Good. Good.
Well, I mean, one thing that I always found kind of funny, you know, how they immediately end the lesson once you're done. You just have to assume that everybody was standing there for like good few hours when they were just staring at a wall.
Yes.
It's like, that's all for everybody. It's class dismissed. Wait, what? I didn't learn anything.
Goodbye.
And remember, I'm getting paid for this. I'm getting paid for throwing children into a dangerous dungeon full of fire and lizards. And practically
That's why
doing nothing in
Hogwarts is the
between.
worst school.
It is.
My money's on the Chudley Cannons coming bottom of the league again this year.
I can't believe they brought in Dementors to guard Hogwarts. I'm never going near the forest again, I'll tell you that.
Gotta pick up more things. I am doing this mostly because by the time I visit this store, I have enough stuff to buy all of the important things, you know? I'm not gonna bother picking up from most of the other shelves simply because you already can't. And here is something that's part of a certain side quest. Although it requires a different thing. A different thing with a very similar name.
We need to go down to the dungeons.
But yeah, those don't fly far enough.
Aww.
But you can damage yourself and your friends with it.
Good.
They're just not. But yeah, those have two functions. You can kind of guess there is gonna be a sneaking section in this place in the future.
We
Yeah.
really should be going.
Going where? Dare I ask?
Well, I mean, we don't have Hermione to tell us that it's going to be a potions class and that we should get to the dungeons in order to go there.
We need to go down to the dungeons.
Now,
Thank you, Harry.
Now he said it. Now, to be fair, if we only had like one companion most of the time, their little remarks wouldn't be quite like they're spaced out enough that it's not annoying when there's just one person.
Right, yeah. It's when you have two who are yelling at you back and forth constantly.
Yeah. But yeah, here's another one of these
We really should be
things
going.
that I was trying to do something with. It's good to remember when they are because they're for a side quest. And yeah, speaking of the fact that every character has their own like tools and spells, Harry, hilariously enough, gets the least of all of everybody.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
I mean, admittedly, it would be Hermione who knows the most spells. But actually, even Ron gets more spells than he does.
Yeah, shouldn't he have like the least?
Yeah. But yeah, look at those curtain effects.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
I really don't want to, but I think...
Well,
Now we know where all the budget went.
Yeah, they look really nice, just like the cape and Berserk Millennium Falcon. I mean, admittedly, the actual capes on the characters here, they don't actually have physics. It's just part of their walk animation.
Right.
Can we go now?
But to be fair, I think that would be a little bit too processing heavy at all times, considering there are 3 characters.
Yeah.
With you at almost all times. Remember that bust. It's also for a side quest.
Is it Max's big bust?
Sadly, no.
I hate to say this, but we should go to the dungeon.
Oh yeah.
Certain places in this game will have like this slight blur filter in the Xbox version. While others don't. Admittedly, the dungeons and the potions class are pretty appropriate for this kind of thing.
I'm sure we should go in. I think Hermione's in there already.
Aren't you her clone? You should know better.
Careful, Potter, there's a Dementor behind you.
That was a pretty good Beavis and Butthead laugh there. I gotta give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah,
all that
here's a
stuff
thing
is
for us to
getting
steal.
Hermione. She said something about great.
I love interrupting them. Hermione's endurance has been increased.
At first I thought that said the Witcher card set, and I was very confused.
Well, I mean, we know what those are.
Exactly.
The Wiggenweld potion will heal most common injuries. The more attentive of you will remember that the most powerful form of the potion
told you we
is
had
prepared
potions.
with only the freshly stripped bark of the Wiggen tree. Mr. Weasley! While you are in my class, you will...
Harry!
Weasley, bring him to the front, now.
So Ron killed Harry.
Mr. Malfoy.
Okay.
Mhm. That's actually what happened. Harry has 0 HP.
Bring him here.
You can actually just leave him there.
Hold on, let me rob your stuff first. And I'll bring him there.
Mhm.
Stop messing about. Bring right, Mr. Weasley. If you pay attention, you might actually learn something. Pick up both vials of Wiggenweld to administer the Wiggenweld potion to yourself. Stand away from Potter and drink the contents of one of the vials. I said, drink it. Now stand close to Potter and administer the potion.
What happened?
I will let Mr. Weasley give you a full explanation, although his incompetence speaks for itself. Thanks to Mr. Weasley's little sideshow, we no longer have time for the rest of the lesson. So, you will now be gathering the ingredients for the antidote to uncommon poisons in your own time, ready for my next lesson. For the next class, therefore, you are to bring fire seeds, billywig stings, chispurple carapaces, and the horn of a graphorn. Class dismissed.
So that cutscene had a very odd implication to me.
How so?
That you apply the Wiggenweld potion to your teammates mouth-to-mouth style.
Thanks a lot, Weasley. I'm really sorry. Don't worry. Let's go outside.
Well, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, me too. I think we should turn in.
Yes.
Yes!
Maybe we should start looking for those potion ingredients for Professor Snape's next potions class. What do you think, Harry? Harry?
Now, I don't believe we can actually start looking for these ingredients, even though we can go to the place where they are supposed to be. Which I will show in a moment, because right after you are done with pretty much everything on a given day, pretty much all of the doors are open for you. You can explore, you can go explore everything. Well, for the most part.
Careful, Potter. There's a Dementor behind you.
I think most of the things that have been locked earlier, now it still doesn't mean that there is much of a point to exploring everything just now, because, well, for a lot of side quests you first need to know that they are side quests. But this, we can do uninvited just about at any point where we want. And this is the dueling club.
Is the dueling here as good as in Harry Potter 2 PC?
No, but it's nowhere near as bad as in the PS2 version of the second Harry Potter.
Okay.
At least it's broken enough that it's funny. This is basically a confusion status. But the main
Gryffindor win.
But the main point of this is getting potions and picking up beans.
I don't know what to do. I think it's time to turn in.
Thank you, Ron.
Because for any character other than Ron, actually picking up potions is a very rare opportunity. Because Ron can just find them in bookshelves, whereas Harry and Hermione just have to find them from drops from enemies.
Right.
And so I just repeated it a whole bunch of times until I got 10 potions on pretty much everybody except for Ron. Because he can get them otherwise, you know? No, admittedly, you can use potions on another person, but it's far less convenient than just using it yourself, right?
Easier to drink a potion than to mouth somebody, yeah.
Exactly. You know, to digest it for somebody and put it in their mouth.
Yes.
And here is a side quest item. It was on the notice board.
Turn the perfect badge to the notice board for more house points.
Mm-hmm.
Can you lose the house cup?
I don't think so. I mean, you would really have to neglect things and also, like, go out of your way to miss out on the challenge shields.
Right.
But yeah, right now we can actually leave to the overworld. And well, you'll see enough. The main reason why these windows on the left here were shut off, because, like, say for example in the 5th game they're transparent, is because the loading was not quite well optimized enough, so you would just see
I don't know about you, but I'm really hot in these robes.
you would just see world appearing out of nowhere.
It's magic, I ain't gotta explain shit.
I'm really tired.
But yeah, for now, I can't, like, right now I just came into conclusion that I wouldn't really be able to do much, so I just head back after a moment of wandering around.
There's a bean in that bush. There was a bean there, goddammit, Nico.
I know.
It's getting getting late. Time to turn in.
No.
Not you
Hermione.
two. Only Ron is allowed to be perpetually tired.
But yeah, the most important thing is to go to Fred and George's store after you're done with this day, because, and also to enter the store as either Ron or Hermione.
We're sure these things will be of interest to you, Harry.
Because like when you, they say, we sure these things will be of interest to, and the character
Have a look
name.
at these, Ron.
You actually get different items to buy depending on which character you control. And I actually didn't know that for the longest time.
Huh.
Rare collector's card, and also you can actually buy Wigan World
There's
potions.
nothing more to do. I think it's time to turn in.
I like how their
And-
shop looks like really dirty and run down in this version.
Oh, and also they will block your way
Hermione,
at
These
times.
things are more suitable for you.
And some things in their store you can just
I'm
steal,
tired.
like that.
Nice.
Here I was damn near certain that was a Glacius thing. Maybe it is, I don't remember. I recorded this video like a month ago. Oh yeah, stealing another card.
Ah,
Time to
theft.
turn in.
And walking on piss water.
What do you think
Indeed.
of these things, Harry?
But yeah,
The cheery
if-
music.
Here are some things that may interest you, Ron.
if you let me buy them. But yeah, I was assessing which thing was the most important. This is actually the stink pellets. These are dunk bombs, and these are just collector's cards, which are kind of like, you know, the last thing that you really need to buy.
This pack of stink pellets, how much is it?
10 Bertie Bott's every flavour beans.
No, that's not how the line goes.
Tell you what, we'll set you a challenge. See these things?
If you lob a stink pellet into them just right, they'll tip over.
And if you can get all 20 of them around the school, we'll give you an extremely rare collector's card. Ah, Hermione, these things are more suitable for you.
Yeah, so Hermione can actually buy spells.
Huh.
How much is one of these chapters from the Dark Forces, A Guide to Self-Protection?
We thought you'd ask about those.
Wow,
Instead
quick
of beans,
response.
we're offering you a challenge. Take this statue list. What we'd like you to do is fill it in by finding the 9 statues that it mentions around Hogwarts. For every 3 statues you find, we'll let you read 1 chapter of the Dark Forces book to improve your ability to cast spells.
A fair trade, I think, since many of the statues are in places that are often patrolled by prefects.
Exactly.
That's really murderous.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
That's
Wow,
exactly what I would
this
expect
Snuffleboy
from
spellbook
Hogwarts.
will allow me to turn
Right.
things into mice. How much is it?
50 Bertie Bott's every flavour beans.
No, that's not how it
The
goes.
Snuffly Force spellbook.
You're going to have a lot of fun with the Snuffly Force spell, Hermione. It's particularly useful at turning books into mice. How cool's that?
See, remember those mouse holes everywhere?
Yeah.
This is what it's for.
Mm.
You can also buy pages from the
Can't think of
Folio
anything
Bruti.
else to do.
A page for the Folio Bruti. How much is this, Fred?
100 Bertie Bott's
Holy
every
shit!
flavour beans.
That price jumped very fast.
We're sure
Seriously.
Let's see about this.
I'm glad the icon for them hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that there's much to do right now.
Just try, just hit them. It's not that difficult.
Just right, though. Time to rummage through my brother's pockets.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting late. Time to turn in.
I could actually buy that page from
Have a look at
Folio
these things,
Brudae,
Marty.
but... Well, what's the point?
Oh.
And Harry actually does not have any special items.
Wow, Harry gets chipped.
Mm-hmm.
The house point totals are to be counted. Slytherin, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, Gryffindor.
Oh, Jesus.
Gryffindor is in the lead.
That was so fast.
Mm-hmm. And here is another Blood Plus spoiler card.
Oh, good.
I also should mention that they did a really...
Harry continued to worry about the Dementors and Sirius Black, but he had plenty of other things to think about as well.
You've got to help Neville.
What?
Neville was wandering around on the 5th floor, and Malfoy's lot found him and locked him in the Muggle Studies classroom. And they've released a ghoul.
Where's Hermione?
In the girls' dormitory. She's finding it easy to study up there.
Well, I suppose it's you and me then, Ron.
That's fucking evil.
What I was gonna say is, they did a really good job with, like, animating Dumbledore's face. It almost looks like his actor.
Right.
Neville and the Ghoul.